What's going on, world? It's G. Dot of MMAJones.com. Just got done watching the UFC Reebok official UFC fight kit launch, which is basically a UFC fashion show for the uniforms that Reebok has designed. First of all, this is a reaction video. First of all, I just want to say these creepy Reebok corporate dick sucks that they have talking about how they're such UFC fans and everything else, and they're talking about how great it is for the sport and all this other shit. If these ain't the most creepy motherfucking, I don't know what's that I've ever seen. I mean, the lady that comes out with the pink uh Reebok pumps or whatever, she was the creepiest, but all these motherfuckers, Matt O'Toole, like these folks are fucking weird. I know Dana White cannot be like wanting to fuck with them outside of business at all. These people are squares, corporate dick sucks. Like they're the fucking corporate zombie motherfuckers that you just hate running into or talking to on any level in any event. But anyway, so I'm watching this video, and they kind of opened it up by saying how they really wanted to bring out the fighters' individuality, and that was one of the things that certain UFC fighters were worried about outside of the shit pay now and not able to go get their own sponsors. And if you looked at the pay structure, it's complete shit. Now I'm not a UFC basher or whatever. Like I understand they'll have to run a business, and they built something from the ground up pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And for that, I give them props. Dana, Lorenzo, all of them. But they don't get everything right. You know what I'm saying? They don't bat a perfect 1,000. Matter of fact, this is a fucking misfire like a motherfucker. Getting a deal with Reebok, period, was not the right move to me. The Reebok is just trying to fix themselves and fix their image and fix everything else. They've been getting punked by Nike for years. All their clothes are shit, in my opinion. I don't like Reebok at all. But so they parade out all the UFC fighters in their new gear. First of all, the uniforms look like shit, in my opinion. Now, this is going to be purely subjective, you know what I'm saying? Like some people are going to be like, oh, well, I like them. I think they're dope. I personally don't like them. I think they all look the fucking same. There's no individuality outside of what country you hail from, your name. It looks fucking basic. It looks elementary. Like if this is what Reebok has invested a shitload of money in as far as engineering and fabrics and everything else, the actual manufacturing is probably going to be done in some fucking Honduran jungle or some shit by 12-year-olds, like all of sports apparel is. Sorry to break the news to you. But, I mean, this shit doesn't even look designed professionally to me. I'm not a fashion guru or anything, but like as far as athletic gear goes, this shit is subpar. And I could tell, and a lot of the UFC fighters or whatever who were forced to do this shit, because Uncle Dana told them to do it, you could tell they didn't want to be there. You could tell they're not really with it. The more established fighters or whatever who are still going to get paid well for their fights, they kind of look at it as a joke, kind of as like hazing for like some up and coming fighters who are going to be paid shit now because of this deal, or until some kind of union is formed or something. But this whole thing is a fucking disaster. I mean, I don't see any of it. I don't see this going too long. UFC and Fox was obviously a good business move for UFC and Fox. So that business move, and plus, it's going to have longevity to it. You know what I'm saying? Fox and UFC are building a separate brand together. It almost seems like, you know what I'm saying, with Fight Night, and it's been successful. UFC getting in bed with Reebok is not going to be successful. I don't foresee it happening and ending well. And they really think that like young fighters, and they were throwing out statistics talking about 35 million people across the globe now are training in MMA in some form or fashion or whatever, and they want to have some kind of gear that's specific for MMA. So that was kind of the whole thing, was they were packaging this fight kit as Reebok is finally come up with the answer for what MMA fighters should wear when they're training and all this and that. And it just looked creepy as fuck. I'll tell you what it looked like. I don't know how many people watched the Jay-Z title um, event when they had Madonna and all these fucking people come out, all these music folks come out and sign this Declaration of Independence of not wanting to be fucked by record labels or some shit, whatever weirdo shit. Everybody hated it. It got hellified thumbs down. This was the UFC version of that. And except it's not really the fans that are getting fucked, other than we have to watch every single fighter wearing the same shit all the time. Like, I don't like to think of UFC fighters as being employees or having to wear a uniform. Like, that kind of takes away from the presentation of it, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I like the guys who are out there, back against the wall. I got to get seen. I got to get some camera time for my sponsors. I got to win in devastating fashion so my sponsors really get seen. And, that it kind of goes with MMA, period. You know what I'm saying? Being that MMA is kind of a younger sport. So it only makes sense. And all these motherfucking people talking about, oh, this Reebok deal is going to, give UFC more validity as a real sport, and it's going to move them closer into that bracket with NFL and the NBA and shit. Hell no. Hell no. Matter of fact, this set them back. Like I said, if you watch this shit, it's creepy from front to back. Dana White don't even look like he wants to be there, and I don't blame him. I think most of this deal was probably the Fertittas. I just don't see Dana White actively going out to seek Reebok. I just don't see Dana White making phone calls, shooting them emails like, yo, we have to get a uniform for UFC fighters. I don't think Dana White gave a fuck either way. But I think it's a fucking disaster. I hate it. I really don't like it. It sits wrong with me that UFC fighters are going to be wearing the same shit and the same ugly shit, and they are going to be, just difference of color, difference of flag, difference of like, it's all bad. I posted the video on MMAjones.com. I also posted a video. I'll post a link below this video so you can go right to it. It's like 35 minutes long. I doubt you'll be able to even stomach the whole goddamn thing. The fighters don't even look like they want to be there. Ronda Rousey, when she was up on stage, she was like doing everything else but being engaged with the creepy Reebok lady, which just goes to show what salt of the earth person Ronda Rousey is, love her or hate her. But like I said, I fucking hate this shit. It sits wrong with me. I don't like the uniforms. I'm looking at it right now. It's got like 387 thumbs up and 874 thumbs down. So I can tell that I'm not the only person that dislikes this shit. So with that said, tell me what you think. Tell me if you saw it. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Do you even give a fuck? Does it make any difference to you? Let me know. This is G. Dot from MMAJones.com.